Douglas. I'm here in Fellowship Live Lounge with Carolina Saunders, the beautiful Carolina Saunders. Now, tell us, you've got your own salon. Tell me about your salon.
Well, Errol, I've had a salon for nearly 5 years now, and it's really just great to be able to share what I can do, really, you know, and have the lovely staff that I have. I think my team is fabulous.
You did members' night. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yes, I did.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that show was amazing, really inspiring.
Oh, thank you very much. I actually got such an inspiration from sort of current fashion, really. But I went a little bit behind that. I took the inspiration from Nina Hagen.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing. She's just like bonkers person.
Yeah.
But the actual event itself, it was actually quite nerve-wracking at first, because it's sort of all of a sudden you have this really intimate room in a way watching you, and such a brilliant people, like yourself, there with your team, and it was just, I really enjoyed it, and it was a great event.
So what does it mean to you to be involved with the fellowship?
I think it's just really nice to be able to be part of the industry, bring something to the industry as well, be part of these lovely events, and also it also opens up a huge amount of opportunity for my team. There's the Fame team, like they are in a moment, and all the rest of it. So I think that's really great. Thank
you very much, Carolina. I know you're one to watch, and I've been watching your shows closely. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Errol.
Which just leads us right on to the Fame Team show, starting now.
Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome. Thank you very much. We like it when you clap. Thanks for joining us this Monday morning here in Manchester at Pro Hair Live. We've got the Fame Team 2018. My name is Nick Owen. I'm the mentor this year. I was the mentor last year for the team as well, but this year we've got a brand new team. We have 15 minutes, so we're going to bring the team out quickly, and then we can talk a little bit about what we're going to share with you today. So this is it's the second time they've been on stage together, because yesterday was their first time. So we like it if you applaud them and make them feel good. So let's bring out the team. Let's bring the team out. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. So this is Katie Prescott, works for Tony and Guy at Canary Wharf in London. I'll get your name right, don't worry, Paddy. This is Paddy, who works for the Rainbow Room in Glasgow. I feel like I'm on TV introducing everybody. Peter Mellor from Medusa.
You hold that, bro.
And last but not least, Ellie Bond from Spargo down in Essex, all the way from down south. So listen, we're going to talk a little bit about the collection today. We've got a brand new collection of looks. We were very kindly invited by Corinne Jackson and Andrea Stavru, who were the president and vice president of the fellowship. We went, the first intro day that we do with the team, it's a day where I get to know them as a mentor, but also to find out what they're into. And we went to an exhibition in London at the Barbican, which is a famous artist called Basquiat, who passed away, but he was very big in the early 80s. So we got influenced by that whole period, and we've based our collection called The Deviants around it. But I'm going to let the team talk about it rather than me, go in too much depth. So we'll come first of all, I think we'll go straight over to Paddy because he's working on something quite interesting for you. So Paddy.
So we were obviously really inspired by the New York kind of scene throughout the late 70s into the early 80s, and I was really inspired by Basquiat himself. He just seemed like such a cool guy. He had a really strong sense of style. It wouldn't be unusual for him to wear an expensive Armani suit for a couple of weeks and go out in it paint splattered after he had completed one of his paintings. So in terms of the hair, I've elongated Marvin's hair by adding some synthetic dreads, stitching them into the hair, and now I'm just working with my scissors to sculpt them, just cutting them shorter and refining them.
Great, thank you, Paddy. And I think you'll see this particular look. We didn't want to literally copy. I think when you get ideas from a certain period of time, it's important that things don't look too retro, because then they can become a bit old-fashioned. So it's always putting a modern take on it, and I think that will come through when you see the models parade at the end. It's about looking at individuality, and I think that's very much a thing that's happening within fashion with this sort of big 80s influence that's going on at the moment. Okay, let's come through to Katie. She's working on, she's doing a bit of a cut there on the fringe, so she can talk a little bit about the technique. Katie.
Hi everyone. So working with a wig today, and we're very much inspired by the new romantics and the new wave styles from the 1980s. So looking at strong structured shapes, working with a one length technique through the back, and then waving it just to create a more stacked out texture. And then through the front area, creating a wide set fringe, really creating it a focal point for the look. Cool. Thank you very much.
Katie, I'm just going to get you, because the camera's picking that up really nicely. If we can do that again, the camera, which camera were we in? There we go. So you can see the shape of it. If we just turn it through to the side. So again, this, I started hairdressing in the 80s. I know I don't look that old, but but these shapes, and we were perming a lot of the hair in them days. So I think there's that influence in the texture coming back through. I mean, here, have you told them that it's?
That it's a wig, yeah.
Oh, you've told them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it doesn't look like one when she's finished, but the whole idea is just getting this really lovely texture, which again is a little bit sort of, it's a slightly more distressed texture. It's not something that would necessarily do on a client, but it looks modern, it looks cool, and it works for her sort of age group. So I think it's one of my favourite shapes. And you can see there as she's cutting, she's just got that nice sort of geometric line coming through the fringe. Good stuff. Okay, let's come through to Ellie Bond.
Hello.
And she can explain what she's working on for you today.
So my model Tilly was really inspired by the 80s downtown New York club scene. She's a bit of a party girl. And what I've done is I've rolled the sides up to create a 80s sort of silhouette. And now I'm just moulding the shape, really strengthening through the top using the mini crimpers. And then through the front here, I'm just going to work the crimpers through to give it a nice 80s texture.
Great. Looks really good. And I think, again, this whole period was sort of post kind of punk scene. So there's elements of that kind of punk hair and makeup and attitude that was still hanging around. And we were inspired by, there was a section at the gallery at the Barbican in London that was inspired by the club scene at the time, which was clubs a club called Area and a club called the Mud Club, where there was all
Yeah.
these different characters hanging out together. So we wanted to we thought it was relevant to kind of bring that into play with the collection. Okay, let's come through to Peter, and he can explain what he's working on today.
Hi
Peter?
guys, thanks for coming today. So I've kind of taken my inspiration from a bit of everything that the other guys have been speaking about. So very New York underground club scene, but I wanted to go with more of like an editorial look. So what I've done is I went quite androgynous with the look. I wanted to make the pretty a little bit unpretty and the ugly a little bit more prettier. So I just worked with his natural texture throughout the whole head, just saturated it, and then I just combed it just to create this beautiful shape, just running in through the back, and then I've just diffused and just let his natural curls come through. Through the front, I've just brought it around the face, again, just to keep it quite DIY, so it's like he's done it at home himself and he's ready to go out and hit the clubs. And then I've just worked with a little bit gel just through this side through here, just so for when the light hits it, you've just got that little bit of poppy something running through there. And again, when we take the gown off and you see the clothes, you'll see how the whole look ties in, and he's got his own individual presence as well.
I mean, what we've done here, that's a good point, Peter, because what we wanted to do was, rather than just go out, and get a stylist or buy outfits, we wanted to customize the clothes ourselves. I think that whole period, and it's something that's very much happening at the moment. My background is in the sort of session world, so I work in the fashion industry quite a lot. And there's a lot of this sort of adding designer clothes with street, and here like painting jeans. You'll see it when all the models are finished. And also I think there's that androgyny of what's happening at the moment, where when I started doing the hair in the 80s, the boys were wearing makeup. There was elements of that around, so you can see it cropping up again in editorial, in the magazines, and on the runway and editorial. So it's there. It's something that it's not for everybody. We understand that, but I think these are the youth culture of hairdressing, and to me, this is what we're always pushing the envelope to try and go against what we feel is not always pleasing to look at. It can be a little bit uncomfortable from time to time, but I think it's coming across with the message. Okay, we guys are going to sort of finish up now. Let's come back through to Paddy. I think Paddy's sort of almost there, and he can explain what he's doing.
So I've just started off there after cutting everything to the kind of length that I wanted, just using a wee bit of spray and some heat, just almost to melt and kind of mould the hair more into the shape that I'm looking for. And I'm just finishing off with just a couple of pins just to make sure I get the height through the elongated sections.
I think I just want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my wife, who's in the audience, who helped us with the styling, and we went out and got the clothes and stuff, and sort of my 9-year-old daughter helped us paint some of the boots and things, and the team obviously. But the makeup, and I think again when we started looking at the makeup, there's a great young fashion designer called Charles Jeffries in London, who's Scottish. And we were inspired by, he did this Loverboy, his collection for autumn winter, and it's great. It's kind of boys wearing some tribal makeup, and there was lots of different influences, and it's not necessarily just about what we're doing, but it's bringing it into play. And we just felt, you'll see we're here with Marvin. Marvin really looks similar. If you research Basquiat, or if you know who he is, it's a little nod to him. It's almost like giving him that sort of. I was a little bit unsure about it, weren't we, Paddy? We weren't like, we thought maybe it might look like we're copying something. But I think when you see it when it's finished, he looks amazing. And, again, for something like this, it works incredibly well. Okay, Ellie's finished, so let's come back through to Ellie.
So just want to touch on the styling. So we've kind of gone for a little bit of a new romantic, that King's Road. She's wearing with Vivienne Westwood. Also, as Nick said, we have customised the clothes inspired by Bathist's work. And yeah, I think all the styling looks incredible. They will look brilliant today.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you very much. You can take your model with you.
Right, do you want to come through?
Okay, yeah, round of applause is great. Thank you very much. Okay, do you want to go next, Peter?
Yeah. So as you can see with the clothing, very much underground New York street kind of vibe, I think everything ties in as well. So you've got like the amazing detail in the blouse, but then you've got the jacket, which is our like Basquiat kind of inspiration, and then you've got the paint splattered jeans, and then you've got the beautiful Vivienne Westwood pirate boots as well. Hope you guys like it.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Looks great. Okay, Katie?
Okay, so thanks everyone for coming. So we're working with a real lived-in texture through the ends. I've just worked a wax spray through the top area to really flatten the top, to emphasize the texture, and then give it that structured shape.
That's what I would.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Looks amazing. Thank you. Okay, let's come through to Paddy, and he can explain what his finish today.
This is the finished look, so I think you get now what I was talking about at the start. And again, it's just about that reference that we started off with Basquiat. So it's about what interested me with his hair was the kind of silhouette that he has throughout like all his portraits, and it's all these kind of almost slightly mad kind of longer pieces. So that's what I've tried to create. But no, I think it looks really good. Hope you enjoyed today. Okay, thanks for coming.
Well done, great job. Thank you, Marvin. Okay, don't go anywhere. We're going to bring the models back out in a second. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Manchester, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, give them a round of applause. Thank you. Let's thank the Fame Team 2018. I think they've done a wonderful job. Thanks to the Fellowship. Thanks to Pro Hair Live. And thank you to Ingrid for doing the amazing makeup today. She's fabulous. And thank you to you guys. Thanks to the models. We'll see you all again soon. Take care. Well done, team. Good job.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michelle Griffin. I'm a council member for the British Hairdressing Fellowship. We do have a stand over there, so if you want to join us throughout the day, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the fellowship and the different teams that we've got. You've just seen the FAME team, which is our elite team. Absolutely incredible, the work and the education that they're putting on stage for you guys. So I'm just going to introduce the next guys that are on stage. They're Harvey Luke. They're from Derby. And it's Natalie and her art team. They've got festival-inspired hair for you to see today from the 2018 trends. So it's their first time on stage, so please put your hands together and give them a warm welcome.
Hi guys, I'm Natalie from Harvey Luke Salons in Derby, and I'm here today to talk to you about looks that we think are going to be on trend for Spring Summer 2018 and a festival theme. Today I've got with me Jolie and Sam. I'm going to pass you over Jolie to talk about our inspiration.
Hi, my name's Jolie. I've been working at Harvey Luke in Oakwood for Natalie for about 4 years now. I'm going to talk to you today about where our inspirations come from. So I'm a big festival goer myself, so I've seen a lot of the trends that are around festivals. We've tried to go for day 3 of a festival, so something that's looking a little bit more grungy and a bit dirty, and then something with a little bit of texture and a little bit rough on the ends throughout. I'm going to pass you over to Sam now.
Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you guys about technique today. So with my model here, Tally, I've decided to go with a bit more texture through the front and round the back. However, in the back section, there's a lot of tight scalp braids. I've also decided to add a bit of colour in with dry hairspray colours, just to give it a bit more of a pop, really, seeing as though it's a festival theme and you need a bit of a, you know, it's a bit fun, everyone's out to have a good time. Yeah, so I also decided to add a bit of colour because I'm very inspired at the minute, seeing as though I am part of the Fellowship Colour Project 2018 with Chris Williams. So yeah, so just been a bit inspired. I thought I'd add a bit into my look today.
Yeah, my guys, so Sam and Jolie applied this year for the Colour Project 2018. I fortunately last year was on the team with Chris Williams, and he gave us a great 12 months of mentoring. Really exciting projects that we had with loads of different inspirational BHA winners. We had Robert Eaton, Alan Edwards. There was so many different experiences, and I can't tell you enough. If you're not involved with the fellowship, massively you do need to get involved. I'm part of the Project X team this year, and my mentor is Kai Wan. We're going to be doing loads of photo shoots and loads of inspirational work. We've already had a day with Ashley Hodges, and what she taught us about the foundations, the basis of doing avant-garde work was invaluable. So I'll talk to you today. This is my model, Rebecca. With Rebecca's hair, I wanted to go for, at festivals, day 2, day 3, you start to get a little bit grungy, you start to get a little bit worn. And so we wanted to go for something that was obviously glamorous in its first stages, and she slept on it a couple of nights, and it's starting to get a little bit more undone and worn. So the technique I've used today, I've gone in with some micro braiding. We've used different cornrows, slightly different sectioning, some straight, some diagonal, some thick, some thin, and I've finished the braids in different places rather than staggering them all. Rather than having them all in the same places, I've staggered them all to give it a little bit of variation. I've then gone in with micro crimping and embossed, and to give that like real jagged texture. Backcombed that and teased that, as so. Really working it through, and then just using the clear bands, popping it in the end there just to hold it in place, to give that ball effect, just to give it a little something extra towards the ends. So with the top section, I've worked through with 2 3-strand figure of 8 braids. So we split the hair into 2 sections across the top. Again, we micro crimped it to give it that little bit of texture at the root and a little bit more hold when I'm working and gripping it in. We split the hair half and half, front and back, and then we've done the 3-strand figure of 8 braid to a scalp, and then loosening and pulling it as we've gone along, and it's allowed quite a little bit more detail to be shown. Sorry. And I think you can see it probably more in the side here. So we just sort of pull it out and work it, and then gripped it back on itself. And then I've done the same the other side, bringing it over and across. And then what I'm going to do, another little technique, just to bring it all together, you can sort of see the placement. I want to hide these lines here. I've just bought some jumbo hair, twisted it together, pulled it about a little bit to make it a little bit more frizzy, and I'm just going to bend it and just literally grip it in, and it just fills in all the little gaps for you there. Okay, I'll pass you over to Jolie. She can talk to you about her work. Thanks.
So I actually started prepping my model Abby's hair last night. I wanted to go for a box braid, but went for it quite chunky. So I wanted to add a little bit more dimension to the style. I then wanted it to look quite rough and a bit undone. So I let her sleep on it last night, get it looking a little bit more messy, and then I've gone in and put a gum on the roots just to add a little bit of stiffness and go for a bit more of a greasy look. Pulled out a few bits through here. I added some jumbo hair into the ends because I wanted all of the length and the thickness to get a really, really chunky braid. I'm going to pass you over to Sam now.
So as you can see, all of our looks here today have all got braiding included. That's just how we wanted to link all the looks together, just to give it a bit more of like a collection rather than 3 individual looks. Mine are very neat, well, I say neat. I've done tight scalp braids, but then given them more texture by kind of just rubbing the comb over them to get that flyaway feel. Whereas obviously Jolie's are added length and texture and colour, and Nat's are a lot more pulled out and then kind of put back into like an updo rather than just the braid. So mine was main focus on braiding technique. With the colour, with Tally's hair, I decided that I wanted to have a bit of root around the braids just so that you could definitely see them a lot more. I think it almost makes them look a bit more embossed. You can see the texture and the technique in there more. So when it has got a bit of root on there,
they stand out
it gives it a bit more of a pop.
Yeah, a bit more definition, definitely.
Yeah, and then obviously spraying in the colour in there on Tally's really lovely white blonde hair just makes you be able to see the spray colours in there a lot better than if it was a warmer blonde.
How are we doing for time, guys? Got ages yet, we're all right. No panicking. So like I say, if you're not involved with the fellowship, guys, I signed up 3 years ago as an individual member, and I travelled up to Stockport. I went down to London on their 2-hour mentoring courses that they do. They're very, very, very inspirational, and it's all close and personal. So you get a lot of one-to-one in them 2 hours. So although it seems like a lot of travelling you're doing, the 2 hours you think, wow, at the end of the day on a Monday, do I really want that? I honestly can't stress enough. It's so up close and personal, and you learn so much from people who, like I say, are award-winning hairdressers. So I started to get my team involved, and it was when I finished the project fellowship with the Colour Project last year, and going on stage at Salon International gave me such a buzz. And I think the thing is, what I learned was, when we're doing stage work, we expect people to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more out there. But what you could take from this is how you could bring this back into your salon and bring it to make it a prom look, a bridal look. Can you attach pieces? Can you attach a different like braids into techniques to make it look a bit more classy? So don't just think it as an avant-garde creative style. Try and think how you can take the looks back to your own salon and work them with your own clients. How are you getting on there, Jo?
All right, I'm just teasing these plaits just to get a little bit of a chunkier braid out of it. And I just want to loosen it all off. I'm then going through and backcombing the ends. Again, I just want it to look a little bit more messy and a bit undone. I don't want it to look in proportion.
Is it feeling really heavy now? Yeah.
Lots of hair in here.
How are we getting on there, Sam?
Yeah, really good.
Finishing
just
up?
giving it a bit more texture, yeah. If I could use that spray when we finished.
Yeah. So, at my salons, I've got a team of 30, over 3 salons in the Midlands, in Derby. And I'm really proud to say my makeup artist is sat watching us. She works for me, she's part of the team. And so, for me, I'm really privileged to have all the own work that we've done today is all done from my own team, the styling and the makeup and obviously the hair. So, thank you, Lorna, for your amazing work. Are we about ready to wrap up, guys?
Yep.
Yep, I'm ready.
Yep. Give you that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so. Thank you, Rebecca. Can you take your gown off, Telly? Perfect. So finally, just before we leave the stage, I want to thank the fellowship, thank everybody who's taken their time today to come down and watch us, and we hope you've been inspired. And if you want to follow us on any social media, it's Harvey Luke Hair, so #HarveyLukeHair. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.